Hello students, we are going to quickly revise the chapter 1 as we already completed the 4 chapters in economics. So we'll start with chapter 1 and overview for the chapter. So let's quickly look for the chapter. So we have studied about the diagram. So meaning of diagrams is it is a representation of observed data by the way of picture. Yes, it is used for self-explanatory. There is no requirement for statistics knowledge. To draw a diagram, there is no requirement of any knowledge of statistics. You can directly draw. Then after we studied about that it is used, diagram is drawn from discrete frequency distribution. Then after, advertising companies, government and social organization, they try to spread awareness, their information by the help of diagram. So they try to use diagram. Then comes the graph. So what is a graph? It is also same, it is a representation of observed data by the way of picture. You find that in diagram it was not statistics was not important, but here thorough knowledge of statistic information is required because it cannot be self-explanatory. Here continuous frequency distribution is being used, so here thorough knowledge of statistics is been essential to draw and understand the graph. So any lay person cannot make it nor understand it. He or she must have the knowledge of statistics. So it is drawn on graph paper and mostly used by the researchers and the different educationists. So different persons who are involved in institutions, education field, they try to use this particular graphs. Then comes the examples of data. So you find that here discrete discontinuous frequency distribution, that is 1 2 5 7 10. So individual numbers are taken up and the demand for that particular price is been there. Whereas in continuous frequency distribution, here income class, which is the range, is been taken from 10 to 20,000, 20 to 30,000, 30 to 40,000, and the frequency. So we know about the discontinuous frequency distribution and continuous frequency distribution. Then importance, how this diagram and graphs are info. Yes, to understand this difficult subjects like economic, we can get certain economic parameter overview, or we can say we can observe that and we can learn about the different parameters in a one single diagram. Then after, you find we can also analyze the changes occurring with the different time series period. We can compare the data with different graphs, classes, regions, sector wise time period if we have the graph. So if you have a long run graph, you find you can just observe it and comparison can be made between the regions and the sectors. Then after, mostly economics used because their concepts of economics can be understood very easily with the help of this, like expansion and contraction of demand, supply curve, price elasticity of demand. You find trends of short run and long run irregular fluctuations. So different time series graphs can be understood with a very easy matter with the help of diagrams and graphs. So all these things we have learned. Then what are the things we have to keep in the mind for drawing a graph and diagram? First is the choice of, so we need to make a correct choice. We need to make a correct choice. As per our data, we have to see that this particular data will help us to draw a cluster diagram, simple diagram or group diagram, different diagrams which can be plotted with the different data. Then clarity should be there. So here clarity means you find the diagram should be neat and clean. It should not be a shabby one, it should not be like dirty one, it should be clear cut so that we can understand very easily. Then scales, you have to go with writing the scale, x axis, y axis, what is x variable represent, what is y axis represent. Then you have to go with measurement, right? 1 centimeter on x axis is how much units or times or anything. Same way on the y axis also, 1 centimeter on y axis is how represent how much price, sales, etc, whatever is the variable. Representation of axis, so what does the x represent, what does the y represent, we have to write. Then table, though to draw a graph or a diagram, there should be a source of table and there should be a table. So data table and source of detail should be mentioned, and on the basis of data table only the graph is been plotted or a diagram is been plotted. Then if it is a graph, we have to use statistical information. So you find that methods for calculating data, how statistics, which type of formula, which type of statistical formula is being used to plot this particular, sorry, to get this particular data, and from that we have used to make it into a graph. So these are the 6 points, or we can say points, which we need to consider while drawing a graph and diagram. Then comes the types of diagram. So we have learned about the 3 types of diagram. There are mainly 3 types of diagram which are used in economics, whereas scatter diagram and pictogram and circle diagrams are not used in economics, and it is not included in our we can say syllabus. Also scatter diagrams are being used, but you find that it is not included in our syllabus. So line based diagram, sorry, time period line diagram, bar diagram, and pie diagrams are there. We studied about line based diagram. Here it shows the relationship or a slope between two economic variables, which often you find that, so you find that independent is on x-axis, dependent variable is on y-axis. You find that which type of you find like this type of discrete, sorry, you find continuous frequency you will get, and in that you try to go with sloping of showing the relationship with the help of slope or a different diagrams. So this is based on the time period, and you can find, you can go with illustration of size of population with different time period for different countries. You can analyze about the rate of inflation, you can analyze about the literacy. So this type of graphs are used to get generally literacy rate, inflation rate, population from different time to time period, sectors, everything. So this is time based line diagram you find. Then bar diagram, again bar diagram which we have learned very easily, and it is like it shows the distribution of various components. You can find here example literacy rate, you can find out it's also having two variables, two different variables on that we try to plot, but there is a vertical or a horizontal bar which is taken to measure. It is not a curve, it is not a slope which is been drawn. So you find that it is a vertical bar which are been drawn, and each bar has different section or time period which it represents. There are three types of bar diagram. Again, you find simple, clustered, and divided bar diagrams are there. So simple, we have seen that simple is having one vertical bar which you find based on the x-axis, that is time period. So a simple bar is represent the value of one variable. So here one variable is there and over a base, where base are in years only, mostly years or regions, or we can say months are there. So here bi-monthly sale of chocolate which we have studied, so there is a years or time period which has been there, sorry, months are there. So it is based on time and the units are being set. So this is one variable which we are trying to study, that is sale of chocolate boxes. Then comes the cluster bar diagram. Again, if you go in this particular deep in that particular data, you find that here one variable is common over that is base, and another having different another variable is having different sections. So different sections are there. So you find that the time period is the common for everything, but here you find there is a distribution is been done into small size, medium size, and large size which is been there. So chocolate sale with different sizes is been known, that is a dependent variable has different categories, that is y-axis has different categories. That's why you find it has different bars representing different size. So here you find that different shaded portions are been taken up, so that we can easily identify which size are having more sale and which size are having less sale with different months. So this is how clustered bar diagrams are being drawn, where you find the dependent variable is the common, but independent variable is common, but dependent variable is having categorized. Then comes the third type which is opposite of it. We can say here every single value of a variable has subcategories, so both of them are having subcategories, and you find the divisions are bar represents common variable and common base value. So there is again a common base value, that is January, February, but you find that there are now sectors, rural and urban sectors, it has been divided. So you find that again where if we merge we get the total of it. So total is been drawn here, and in total we have been divided. So that's why it is called divided bar diagram, because it shows about the two different areas in one particular bar. So that's why we find divided bar diagrams are being used, commonly used. So each division of bar is colored different values which represent indicators. So here in one particular bar only you find two categories are being divided, and that should be shown with different shading. So it is divided bar diagram. Then comes what are the things which we have to keep while drawing a bar diagram. So when you're drawing a bar diagram, you find that the bars which are being drawn, it width should be the same, because it does not represent the any data. So it should be of equal width, each width should be same, that is 1 centimeter if you want to take. Then after length, representative bar is proportionate to the variable, so it should be exact to the data which is being given up. So what proportion is the data is that much proportion of height of the bar should be there, so that we can easily measure the on the y-axis. Then after distance between all the bars should be equal, it should not be more or less, it should be equal spaces, one bar with another bar, there should be equal distance between them. Then after it should always lie on x-axis, and you find that nowadays vertical bars are also arranged which you find which goes from left to right. So to show the different time series and latest technology. You find that sorry vertical bars are arranged and it has been there. Horizontal bars are also can be used, which we can go with left to right, showing up the indication. So this is what we can say. These are the few things which we have to keep in drawing bar diagram. Then comes the pie diagram. That is the last type of diagram you find here. That is, it is having a particular circle, and a circle is having 360-degree. And this particular circle, if you want to represent different data on it, so this particular circle is of 360-degree. We have to divide our items according to it. So taking of that particular component value into 360-degree upon total value, that is 100 here. So as the data is been there, so you have to go with that, making the total divide by total but multiply with 360-degree. So each component degree you will find, and you have to draw as per the degree. So this is how you find that pie diagram has been made. So it has been drawn representing subdivision of the entire data by proportionate to its degree. So to represent all the different types of items, you have to go with drawing with the different types of degrees on a circle. So that shows a pie diagram. Then comes what are the things we have to keep in mind while drawing pie diagram. You have first thing, that is 360 should make a circle. So diagram which is been there, a circle which is there, it is of 360 degrees. Then you find that it has certain categories, so that categories must be converted into degrees by taking that value, multiplying it with 360 degree and dividing by the total. You find that you get the different uh, divisions of the items. Then after that, total of this particular degree should also match with that particular thing, that is 360. And then after, you can compare the two regions, two different sectors, time periods, by drawing two different pie diagrams. With the help of this, side by side, you can analyze it. So this is how you find diagrams are all about. Now let's topic will be a graph. So let's go with the graph. So graph is having different categories like time series graph, graph with continuous frequency. Again, in that it has been subdivided into histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, cumulative frequency polygon, logarithmic graph. So these are the three types of graph, and you find that continuous frequency distribution has subcategorized into 4 types. But we are not going to learn in detail, just we have to understand it. So we have to just know the names for it. Then comes what are the use of technology in the study of economics. So how we can use technology in the study of economics, we have learned by computer technology, internet technology, and data studies. So let's just quickly revise it up. Computer technology, how computer can help us? Yes, computer can help us by presentation. So many of the teachers, you find that making presentation, they complicate theories, informations are being there which are being made express easily with the help of PowerPoint presentation. Then after, Excel sheets are there. So many data which are being observed by the researchers, educationists, different persons are there who are doing that particular work. So they try to go with doing all that particular work with the Excel sheet, where you find that the different types of calculation is being done with 1 or 2 clicks in that particular Excel sheet. So this helps them to analyze the data very quickly, very easily. Then comes that diagrams and graphs. So concept of different concepts, different theories in economics can be easily understood with the help of diagram and graph. Then after comes, you find that storage. So we try to use computer for our storage, for our different books to be stored, PDFs to be stored, data to be stored in particular computer software. Even there are many softwares, like you can go with putting into a hard disk, pen drive, or you can go with software like Google Drive, DigiLocker, Dropbox. Different softwares are available where you can keep your data very safely in on the internet with locking up. So you can only access by using your email or different passwords. Then comes the other tools. So many of the programs, statistical programs, you must be hearing about the data scientists, SSPS, SAZAM, SAS. Then if PSSP, R, all these particular different things, programs names are there where they try to use this particular program. Computer students, or we can say many of the commercial students, they try to go with using the statistical format, statistical program for research institute, to so that you find that they can analyze the data which have been there. So this particular software helps them analyze the data very easily, and they can run on their command. So this how computer technology has been used for understanding economics. So I hope you have been clear with this also. And then up comes what are the things we have to keep in mind when you are using computer. First, it is an aid, it is an just help for helping in study. It is just a tool. It is does not replace anything. Then it helps the process of studying easier. Because of computer you can analyze it, like I told you, Excel sheets are there. So in that, average, total, everything, if you know the command you can do it very easily. But if you don't know the right command, the computer will end up losing your data. Yes, because if the data is been, like, if you don't know much about the command and some might be mistaken, so some mistakes will make it a huge loss of your data. Then comes, you find that if you does not know the formulas in Excel, what will happen, the incorrect information and data processing will be happening, which shows the incorrect theory, and your presentation or any other things will go on wrong. So this is how you find it is only a aid, where you find that it is just to make easy and faster. It does not replace the process of studying, so it is just an aid. Then after comes internet technology. The second technology is internet. Yes, because of internet we find many of the much things which are been done. Now you find that how it can be help, internet help us. First is tutorials. So many of the educations, like many of the in this situation we find that we have started with e-learning classes. So we have been using, we are the tutors of the school, and we started making presentations, and we are giving you uh, different knowledge regarding the subjects, chapters. Then after active learning, if you want to go with active learning, that is a live classes many experts try to take. So webinars are there, live classes are there, which are being taken by the expert on their own link about the different informations. So this can be there, which you always find on social medias. Then you find that reading materials. So if you are does not having any physical book, but if you want to read a book, you can try to go with ebooks or PDF books, which you can download from the internet, and you find that that particular type of electronic book is called as ebook or e-journals. So many of the websites are giving free books, free journals, which helps us to analyze which help us to understand those researchers who have made their analyze and data. Then after it comes information. So if you are finding any difficulty, you want to go with some information, so you can just search different universities. You can go with, if you are looking for some universities after 12th, you are going for different colleges, so you can just find out the degree courses on the online. So this is how information you can gather. Again, you can gather different informations about the economics also, that is miscellaneous one. So economics, their thoughts, their theories, their books, we can also find on the internet. Then after data, so datas are being stored. You find that government data, government budget, banking values, their rates, interest rate, import export procedures, which you find in our country, how much import export is being done. You find industrial production, poverty, unemployment, different sector, different field, different data are being collected, and that particular CDs are being collected. Many of the organization, they try to go with publishing up with this particular CDs, and this particular organizations like NSSO, who is there, UNO is there, IMF is there, CMIE is there, CSO, different organizations which help try to collect this data, and they try to publish and try to sell it this particular with a very expensive rates also. So this is how you find internet help us to study about the economic subjects. Then comes the, what are the things we have to use. So what are the, we can say, cautions should be maintained while using the internet. So first is, it is like also a computer, it is also a tool. It cannot replace books and teachers. Yes, because we are using our own thinking and reasoning power to understand it. Then after, you find that there are many low quality standards, or we can say fake materials which are being provided, irrelevant informations are being provided. So that particular polarized articles, fake articles are found on it, and we need to avoid that, and we need to exactly identify which are authentic material. We have to go with authentic websites, like the organization's website. Like if you want to go with population census of India is been there, then after you can go with UNO is there. So different organization, IMF is there, different organizations you can go with to find out the information correctly. Then comes data cities. Now data cities are also known as compact disk, and this is the third and the last topic of this particular chapter, where you find that data cities are also available, where many of the agencies and authorities like research centers, they try to go with making this collection, and they try to publish this particular information data. Now they have the huge data in the CDs, and they sell with a very expensive to the different researchers education institutions, so that they can understand, they can use, they can go with surveys and they can analyze it. Now you find that many of the things, like you find that CDs are based on National Income Account of India, Census Report of India. Then after you find National Sample Survey organized, that is NSSO. Then Annual Survey of Industrial of India. You find that many of the organizations which are there, they try to go with making their own CDs and they try to sell, so that researchers use it and analyze it, and they can go with making their own different analysis. Then after agency like CMIE, that is Central Monitoring Indian Economy, creates softwares. They try to also create softwares which, like we can say, we have seen SASAMs, then after we have seen SSPPS. Then all this particular different softwares are been there, Python, R, every they are been made and they are been purchased by research institution for their more analyzing it. Then after, what is the last thing, that is what things are happening up, what is making difficult for data cities. Now you find that many of the CDs and softwares contain huge size, so it is very complicated to use, because in this CD there is 4 5 GBs of you find CDs which are being available in that particular. You find that lots many datas are there, because the Excel sheets are there. In Excel sheet lot many datas are been there which is there coming in only 1 MB. So if it is this 4 5 GB of data which is there of Excel sheet, you find that lot many datas are there, and it is very complicated to use. Even you find that you should have perfect knowledge regarding this particular, what must to be searched in that particular data. So if you have that particular knowledge, then only several sheets which you require, you find out very easily from the CDs, and that particular relevant data help you to for your analysis. So these are the we can say difficulties which you face in using CD data. I hope you have been clear with all the points. Same PPT have been using up, so that you can clear with all the points which are made you to understand. Study well, as well as you find that soon we will have a test. So regarding test also I will inform you later on, but you go with this video so that your chapter 1 is getting clear with it. Next class we'll start with chapter 2, and I will tell you how the test should be taken up. Thank you.